I'm gonna take you to the modern day that you deserve for Assassin's Creed, the series. Are you ready? Let's go. Today we dive deep down a rabbit hole on modern day for Assassin's Creed, and I want to take you through somewhat of a journey that I have also been on of this game and give you guys deeper dive, let's just say, overall. Hopefully this will inspire you as well as excite you about what's possible for the future. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not here to sway those people who didn't appreciate or enjoy the modern day overall. That's totally fine. I'm not here to convince you. But what I do want to do, and what I'm hoping we can all do together, is have hope for the future of the modern day. And maybe the new people will be like, wow, this is pretty cool. I want to play all the older games to kind of experience what happened. And I am going to spoil some of the modern day for this series, but it'll be like the first 5 or 6 games only, because after that, it kind of slowed down and died off. Let's just be honest. So here we go. Let's do it. Yes, you play as Desmond. You wake up in a facility. They tell you that you're going to help them save the world. You basically have DNA that lets them go into this machine to go into your ancestors. And those ancestors are connected to superpower natural artifacts and also other things in the series. And this is kind of what drove the series on the first 5 games. If you were like me, you were playing the sci-fi game and you were playing this futuristic experience that led you into the historic events. And they were amazing. The historic events in this series, in my opinion, have been some of the greatest in gaming. They have landmarks, they have all the things you can dream of for a player to enjoy. And more recently, Black Flag is a pirate game, so you get to live that RPG fantasy of a pirate. The thing is, the cutscene you're watching here and the true experience of this is why I started and why I kept playing the series. Even though I enjoyed all of the historical stuff, this was so compelling. It actually was super interesting to have both, because I would do the research for history, all the fun, historical characters, events, villains, and everything. And then I would get this very crazy sci-fi where you lay down into this machine and you tap into some historical storyline. Okay. And to me, that is such a special thing that we've missed. And the truth, to kind of, for all the new people, I'll give the summary version. After the 5th game, basically the story died out, and we're going to spoil the whole thing here, but this character is gone. And he carried us through those 5 first games, and then Black Flag comes out, and now you're in first person in an office, and it's terrible. That's why Syndicate is not putting any of those things into the game, because it just was very bad. I didn't even really care for the way it should have been, the way the rest of the series was before it. And with all that being said, now that we know, okay, we're loading into these things and there's great experiences within each of them, the problem comes when Ubisoft says, how do we avoid this? Because people are so mad about it. People like me who complained about the modern day not being cared for. And they said, you know what? Let's just separate these things. So this is what the decision was at the moment. You're looking at the Animus hub. This is kind of for every Assassin's Creed game. You can literally load into them right from this menu. You can see Black Flag Syndicate, which I'm actually playing early, by the way, guys. Talk more about that in other videos when I stream it before it releases, as well as other things. So lock in for that when I give you guys the announcement. But this is where you go, and you can access not only the games, which are memories. You can go into this vault. You can go into the projects and the exchange, which are ways for you to get rewards, unlock specific story elements, and different things that will, can be very interesting and fun. And so the idea is these are like battle passes, but they're free. And you just play the game and you'll earn all the rewards. And these points that you get here, you can use them to buy different things. Okay. So for example, there's some of this stuff here where it is anomalies. You have the exchange where you buy more outfits and even get a little more tokens. And then if we go into the vaults, it's a little bit of spoilers for Shadows. I'm not going to really show everything. These are all gained from playing through the story. And you just basically unlock maybe a quick cutscene or a bunch of text that kind of reveal different parts of the story as you go forward. And so this is the new modern day. It's died off so badly that this is where we are. And if you're somebody who loved it, you should be upset. This is just as bad as Joel getting a golf club. And if you know what that is. So even though these are interesting and I actually really enjoy discovering them and going through them, the fact is this isn't enough to be like, wow, this is revolutionary, type of experience. No, it's simple, short cutscenes that have some clues and conversations about what really happened in these histories. Okay. With all that being said, today I want to kind of go through what I think we should do, what I think Ubisoft should do. And you can go ahead and hire me, Ubisoft. Somebody send this to the CEOs or executives who can get the investors involved. But this is what I think should happen. I think they should go right ahead and do like they're doing here. That's fine. Keep this up with all the new games that come out. And then make a new game, Assassin's Creed Modern Day. I'm just going to call it something plain. We can change the name later, but that's what I'll call it, and you'll be able to access it. And what happens is, just like I can access Shadows, and just click on it, new game, and start the new game. We're playing a brand new game. Literally, click the button, and it will put me in the Animus and take me with a character. Now, who is this character? How does this work? Is it going to be Desmond? Is it going to be somebody else? These are the conversations about how we're going to shape the story and where that story is going to go. But the truth is, modern day will allow us, we made a game just like this, to tap into all of the series at different points and create a very fun experience. So me loading in right now will load me in to, let's just say, Origins or Odyssey. And then it'll load me into Unity. Then it'll load me into Assassin's Creed 2 memories. And I'll get to play a lot of these characters that we know and love, but different segments. Okay. And the idea is, in the modern day, you're finding out more clues and information for the modern day and how to affect it. And there'll be captivating stories for each of the selected areas that we have to go through. So instead of an open world, you'll get these linear open areas. And I don't know if you guys ever played things like Uncharted or other games like them. They have open areas. You're gonna stealth, you're still gonna do missions, but it's a little more linear, directing you through a story. And that'll be what we can experience for the first time in these Assassin's Creed games because of the modern day. At the same time, we're in the modern day with the main character as well. And there will be things that we need to do. What I envisioned for the modern day was having them hiding out in these very discreet locations, right? Let's say you go to Thailand and you're climbing the roofs of Thailand because there's a lot of city area in there, and that's where you have your HUD and your team is jumping into the Animus over there instead of doing it out in a regular American city. And so that could be explorable and have different things in there, just like you see here in this banner for Black Flag. And basically reversing the roles in a way from the originals, and basically reverse engineering that the modern day is a big part of the game, and then the extra side history visits are more linear and focused to tell you impactful stories to help either break down cool things that had happened that we didn't know about, stories that we should have told, or new stories and things that are from a period that's unique. So just imagine, right, being able to go back to your favorite Assassin's Creed in some capacity and have different experiences in there. And one of the key things and the reasons I think this could work too, the way I would do it if I was Ubisoft, and the innovative part of this is all you're going to do is tell the developers, okay, you're going to get all the elements and things that Shadows had. You're going to make a story for Shadows. It's going to be a linear story. It's going to be open areas, not a whole open world. You're going to tell a linear story in there. Go right ahead and use everything that they got. And that you can tell the studio that made that game to add that new thing as a DLC for this modern day story, while you have the writers and everybody working together to collaborate. And then you do that for every single game out there. And I'll just give you a quick look at some of the titles that are currently on the Animus. You got the brand new Black Flag remake, Shadows, Valhalla, Mirage, and more. I would assume they're going to keep adding the remakes in between making originals. And so just say, hey, we want to make another Odyssey. This is basically a DLC that's for the modern day game. So people can buy the brand new modern day game and experience a new Odyssey DLC. All the same mechanics and systems, but it's a linear experience within the modern day. It will help you learn more, see more, do more in different ways. Just imagine the amount of stories you could tell. And this can be just extra projects that continue to evolve. If you purchase the brand new modern day Assassin's Creed game, you will unlock some of these. And whenever Ubisoft has a couple extra dollars to throw at one of the studios to add a new DLC, basically. We just seen Mirage did this. They put out a new DLC years later, which is very rare for the series to come back with a free DLC like it did, but possible. So imagine that in a game that focuses solely on the modern day as its key storytelling element. And that's what I've envisioned, hope for now, because I did not get what I wanted, which was the full story kind of taking us through that. And so I challenge you to share this video with the devs. I actually am partnered with them, so I'm playing the game early, but I don't talk to the developers and producers as much as I do talk to the managers. Only when I'm playtesting and stuff, I'll talk to the devs. And again, talking to an executive who will be the one approving this stuff, it's a different conversation. But yeah, that's something I would want if they're not going to get into the modern day. Most of the games are not doing it. We recently had Very cool, by the way. Shadows put out a last update with modern day story in it. But they waited all the way to the end. And that's not okay. I think it should be a part of the full story in my experience. That's how I feel about it. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions on this idea. Been sitting on this for a while. I've shared it multiple times on my streams and some videos casually, but I haven't broke it all the way down like I did today. Hopefully this is kind of understandable. There's a lot of creative parts in my head, stories I've already written about how I would want this to go and how it could be best presented and the ways to kind of revisit each game in some capacity. I think it could be fun, especially since they're moving along, bringing multiple titles out. Looks like, they're going to be announcing more titles in the future, hopefully, and Assassin's Creed can stay alive. And it's up to us to share what we dislike and like. And speaking of that, if this was entertaining, like, subscribe, and comment, and go watch the next video, which I talk about what I disliked about Black Flag and how remake is healing me. Be interesting. See you there.